Well, hello, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all the ships at sea, as Walter Winchell used to say. Dan, political gadfly here, having a good time in this really interesting presidential election. And today I'd like to talk about one of the greatest movies, in my opinion, I ever saw. I hope you get to see it or have seen it. It's entitled The Great Santini, and we're going to roll here. Uh, it helped me grow up, and it was written, the book, The Great Santini, was written by Pat Conroy, who's written a number of books, great books about, well, being a human being, an empathetic human being, and I think we've got a little clip. Well, the hero of our little story is reportedly uh, uh, Lieutenant Colonel Bull Meacham, being played by Robert Duvall, but others maybe a little more enlightened would be the real hero is Lillian holding their family together because Lieutenant Colonel Bull Meacham was really he was pretty high on his own supply. He suffered from a toxic male attitude. He had all the answers, and well, he was a tough guy. And as it unfolds, uh, uh, he's in the background starting to read his newspaper, and the ladies hear him swearing away, and it goes like, God, 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 why you put so many jerks in the world at the same time? He's complaining about the Gauls, he's complaining about Castro, and he's itching for a fight because, well, he's an angry guy, and he's committed to a dangerous life. I mean, he's a Marine Corps fighter pilot, and actually he's a trainer, the instructor. Let's take a look at this, and here he is addressing the squadron that he is going to be training and commanding. And of course, fighter pilot, well, when they're told to go, they're going to go. And so these are typically very serious men. And well, if we take a look here, he says he's addressing his crew, the guys he's going to be training. And he says, I want you to look on me like I was. Does anybody want to guess, or can we fill in like he was or like he is? Well, I'll tell you what, he says, like I'm God. And any of us who, in our youth or anywhere in our lives, if we ever develop that attitude, I tell you, we're going to be in for a rude awakening, or at least I think. And so, when we're that foolish, really, we're in reality, we're a part of the JV, the junior varsity squad, and we got some growing up to do, and or at least I know that was something I had to wise up to, and now I'm not trying to say I was ever any kind of a serious Lieutenant Colonel Bull Meacham, but sometimes I get so pumped up on my own ego, I think I was. So it could be time to start growing up. Well, so there we go. Excuse me. There we go. There's the great Santini, and I'll tell you, that's that's some philosophy for life, to think you got all the answers, that you're God. And I'll tell you, as a young man, I identified with the great Santini there. It was all about me. I was in college. A girl said to me, she says, the problem with you, Dan, the price of everything and the value of nothing. And I had a number of people tell me I should consider philosophy as a major. And my wisecrack answer was, what? And get a job in a philosophy factory. So I was chasing that dollar bill. And I really didn't know which way my ship was sailing. I really had not really taken a good look at myself. And through the passing of time, I've come to learn that actually philosophy is a study of how to live a better, more fulfilling life, a principled life, and the importance of getting right size in our thoughts, etc. So, pressing on here, along the way I've come to hear of and learn about a guy named Maslow, who developed a hierarchy of human needs, and you can find this all over the internet. I mean, and he says, the first thing we need is to satisfy our physiological needs. So in other words, as human beings, if we don't have the basics, we're headed for a heck of a lot, of trouble. And then, the next thing up the chart, we also are entitled to, we also have needs for safety, security, employment, resources, health, property. And if I may, that safety means is just the beginnings of peace of mind. And our Constitution, in the preamble, talks about the general welfare. And only if the general well-being, the security, some common sense security is provided, can we then really, I believe, move on to developing love and friendship, because if we're living in a state of fear, because white-collar crime is rampant, lies from the government are rampant, they got us worrying about our neighbors, all the rest of this stuff, that could be, that can really inhibit the joy that we can find in our lives as we move along. Now, it's also, if we can get some trust into our lives and our basics are secured, in other words, we've got a good job, we've got pay, we've got a degree of security or a belief system that we're going to be okay, can we move on to the self-esteem that comes with a freedom of being able to make some serious choices for ourselves? And if we, again, continue to mature, we can then find a thing of called a situation, self-actualization, and that's where, well, I'll tell you what, fulfillment. We're being ourselves. And, society does not always agree with what any one of us really feels very deeply in our own views of, who and how we should be. So what we need, or at least this character, I've needed guidance throughout my life. I need to turn to some of the great minds, and to me, the great minds include our founding fathers. And includes the philosophers, and of course, people of religion can be most helpful. And so it was actually, I thank God for, I'm going to say, to see a Greek reporter, YouTube, the internet, and I learn. Well, I just love some of the wisdom that comes from the philosophers. And look at this one: loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight. And that came from the ancient Greek philosophers who went on to give us Stoicism. But we got to face it, people. If you think things are going to stay the same, or you want to go backwards, that's a very, very sad situation. Life, the world has always been evolving. And another one, at least which I love, that came from the Greek philosophers, was that the object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane. And that's a little bit of a comment on the mob mentality. And I'll tell you, it's so easy to get wrapped up in it. We should review, I believe, our belief system. And another one here is, which I get a chuckle out of, is it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. And I'll tell you, I live a modest lifestyle. I thank God and actually good government for the peace of mind that I have. And I just consider myself blessed. But I certainly, if there's people are completely, are always expressing dissatisfaction with what they have. And I'll tell you what, you know that they're searching deeply and spiritually. They are still poor. And, well, that's something. Talk about being spiritually poor, but and craving more. I'll tell you, Clarence Thomas comes to mind. He's a Supreme Court justice, and in the year 2000, he approaches some our red rep from Florida, saying he and the other justices on the Supreme Court need more. And it reminds me of a movie, 1995, with Ellen Barkin. The name of the movie was Bad Company, and she was involved in some bad business. And she's talking with an associate about how do you bribe a federal judge. And she said, and they agreed, well, the first thing you need a signal from that judge that they're open. And I think all the gifts he's accepted, his refusal to recuse himself, tells us something about really being poor. Next up, we'll go on to Greek Stoics, Part 2. Thank you. God bless. One day at a time. Easy does it. All that stuff.